Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 8 of Black Canvas Grappling. Now, I just want to kick the episode off by saying if you want to buy or play TEW 2020, you can purchase it down in the first link in the description. It is an affiliate link, so you will be helping the channel out. And apart from that, let's get on with the episode. Now, the first thing I really want to do is, well, we obviously have to advance 8 days, so we may as well start doing that. But what we're going to do in this show, as you can probably tell by the title, is we're going to introduce our newest stable. Now, I've kind of been talking about it a little bit with you guys over the last few episodes. The leader of this new stable is going to be Blast Akoma. I already have his first stable member that is going to be joining him. And of course, I also have the stable name ready to go as well. For some reason, I think I'm going to stick with capital letter only stable names, just to sort of differentiate the fact that it is a stable as opposed to a tag team and stuff like that, because they do look fairly similar. Anyway, we've got pay rise requests here pretty early on. Alright, so he thinks he's worth 400. I think if we just go with 75, I'm hoping that's the same as 2016. He's being paid 30 per appearance, and apparently he's worth 380 after the popularity increase. Okay, I'll agree. 75%. He gets a $262 pay rise there for Storm Splain. That's pretty massive. Anyway, Sugar Amano, now fully fit. I did actually turn the injuries down, so they are now on low, after we picked up like 6 injuries last episode. So he's back. Sajiro Sen has now gone from flabby to average. Let's have a look at his skills here. I'm assuming that might have increased his star quality, perhaps? Maybe not. Maybe stamina? No. Did it change anything? I don't think it changed anything. Okay, well, good for Sajiro Sen, I guess. He's lost a little bit of weight, or so it seems. Toning himself up a little bit. And then we're also getting Yoshizawa back from his little injury that he picked up as well. Pretty bad timing. Anyway, what's going to happen next is... So we're pretty much going to start off the next show with Blast Akoma, and he's going to introduce the new stable. And then he's also going to introduce the first member into said stable. Now, I am looking forward to kind of booking this as well. Really? Another pay rise request? Unraku Tori this time. Kind of thinks that he should be worth about the same as Funakoshi. I tend to agree. They're all on really, really low wages when you start the game off. Not exactly sure why. Anyway, this is big time independent wrestling from Kobe. By an independent group. So this is independent wrestling. Bison Yano, isn't he really good? I mean, he's not really good. He's okay. And he's also pretty over. Who did he used to work for? Can we have a look at that job history? So he was... Oh, he's currently employed by Pride Glory. Okay, never mind. I thought the independent wrestling might have been sort of wrestlers that are unemployed. Wait, what? Why is Okamoto wrestling? Isn't he injured? Well, he can still perform. I would prefer him not to be wrestling. I mean, maybe I should actually let him wrestle. Might be a bad choice to do that. But good to see that Funakoshi got a win there. Over Ginji Kisaka. Of course, another one of our guys as well. That's pretty interesting to see that, you know, there is actually independent wrestling. And your workers can get booked for it. So obviously you would think, or you would assume, that it's only going to help them develop their stats with more sort of performances. Also hoping it doesn't exactly affect their popularity. You know, I think Okamoto actually took a loss, and it was actually in Kansai as well. That would kind of piss me off a little bit, not gonna lie. Anyway, I think our next tour, is it Fighting Spirit? I think it's Fighting Spirit Tour. With the pay-per-view, I think, in March. So, if we come to the end of the beta, which is the end of February, I mean, there's still about 10 days as I'm recording this until the full release of the game. I will have another series coming in the meantime, which will probably have to play up until the full release and then come back to BCG, which I'm kind of a little bit frustrated about. But at the same time, you know, there's nothing I can really do. You know, there's nothing I can change either, so... Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get into this screen here. We're expecting 563 fans for this show. So I just want to continue going in generic venue. Let's also do some meddling again between Shadow Ichimori and Animal Haka. Again, we made it worse last episode between them. Alright, so let's actually start the show off with an angle. And of course, we're going to have Blaster Coma. And we're going to have Dynamite Narahashi, who is going to be his first member of his new stable. Let's just do this for now. Yeah, because I kind of need to look at Akoma and Narahashi. Because I honestly don't exactly know how good they are in specific stats. Alright, so Mena is probably better on the microphone. Blaster Coma. And then Narahashi is actually quite good on the microphone as well. Alright, well that actually works out pretty well. So both of them on entertainment. And then of course we have... Let's actually give it a proper name. So Blaster Coma, if I can spell properly, invites Dynamite Narahashi to join his new stable. Let's go like this. Explosive. Just with an X. Or should I go EX? I don't know. What looks better? I think Explosive with an EX kind of looks better there. Yeah, obviously Blast Akoma, Dynamite Narahashi, Explosive. Them being the first two members kind of makes sense. I mean, obviously the other members of the stable are not going to have, you know, explosive names as such. But they will get some more members coming forward. Either way, let's add them as a stable as well. So, Explosive. And that's going to be another faction. And then we're going to have Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi. So we got Leader and we have Deputy there. Yep, there we go. Perfect. All right. February. Anything else we need to look at? No new members. No. Okay. Add stable. Yeah, I just realized that I did that for that stable. Anyway, we've got Explosive, we've got Import. Well, we will have them after the actual show runs itself. Up next, I think... Well, let's book the main event first. I don't actually know what I'm going to do for the main event. We might actually have Blaster Coma take on someone. Obviously not Funikoshi. I can't really be any of those guys either. And I kind of want to do Masashita or Yoshinaka Taku. Let's go Taku. Because Taku's not going to be involved in his storyline or his stable, so... it's going to be decisive, but we are going to have an interference by Dynamite Narahashi. I think that'll work out pretty well. And again, that's the stable pretty much being solidified. Up next, I want to have a match for the American Cobras. And they can take on Agata and Kisaka. I'm pretty sure we might have done this match already. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Up next, let's go another singles match, and I want to have Funakoshi get a victory over Sakanori Doi. And I think we'll make this one steal the show. Because I do like Takanori Doi. We also need a technical masterclass. Now let's go with... maybe Sotomura. Yeah, let's go with Sotomura and Ozawa. And they're going to take on Kamisaka and Kiyotaka. Actually, we need it to be 15, don't we? This one's going to be the technical masterclass with Kamisaka picking up the victory. Like I said, Kamisaka and Kiyotaka really impressed me throughout the Tag Mania tournament. I thought they were kind of a standout just behind the Cobras, the American Cobras. So that's going to be the first match on the card, but the second segment. What else do we need? Actually, I guess we can let's put this angle after Blastocoma's match. That actually kind of makes more sense as Dynamite Narahashi actually interferes in the match. I think that works a lot better. Okay. Can we do... kind of want to do a Reizan Okamoto match. Let's do a trios, or a 6-man tag, sorry. And let's put Reizan Okamoto in a match. He's going to win the match. And he can team up with... Let's team him up with James Diaz. And someone else that's kind of up the card a little bit. Maybe Yurigataya. That kind of works, and they can take on Goto. And maybe Mitsukuri and Kinoshita. This may impact his performance. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I just kind of want to see how he performs, even though he's injured. We also want to make one of those guys take the loss. I don't really want Goto losing yet. Then I think we go one more match. Let's go with a triple threat match to determine the #1 contender for Goto's Challenger Series title. And in this match, I think we want to go with Giant Brody. And then maybe Sajuru Sen. And finally, let's go with Matsuzawa. Because he was kind of involved already in the Challenger Series title. And he is kind of a mid-counter. But as you can see, We are going to give Brody the victory. Matsuzawa can take the loss. I do kind of like Sujuru Sen, so I don't kind of want to... I kind of want to keep him relatively strong in the mid-card. Either way, we're going to make Giant Brody very strong in the mid-card. And I think that match can go... I think it can go there. Sort of like the semi-main event. And then we'll put that one there. Because that's supposed to steal the show. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I do want to do another angle. Let's do an angle for Okamoto. We will script him, but I do kind of want to test him without a script as well. Okay, what is wrong? Okay, I mean, they're not really anything to worry about. And we are pretty much at our limits, so let's do a quick pre-show match here as well. And let's just have Finley, Animal Harker, and Wild Red Stallion. And they can take on Osaka, who's now back from injury. And he can team up with Prowler Igarashi. And I guess Osono as well. On the pre-show, and then we'll give the victory to Finley. And I have to say it's a pretty good pre-show match. Okay, let's run the show. Starting off with a 45, we have Import, being Finley, Harker, and Wild Red Stallion, defeating Iki Hisaka, Prowler Igarashi, and Yuta Osono in 12:06 when Big Bruiser Finley defeated Hisaka with an Atomic Spinebuster. And yeah, it's just a pretty good pre-show match with the Young Lions on one side. We start the show off with a 52, where we have Kamisaka and Kiyotaka defeating Sotomura and Ozawa in 14:46 when Katanomaru Kamisaka pinned Roku Sutomura with a stump pile driver. And then, of course, these two having excellent chemistry together. But a pretty impressive victory there for Kamisaka and Kiyotaka. We then go into a 53 for Reizan Okamoto's angle, which I think is pretty good. It's not great. But again, you know, we haven't really used him. So I should be using him in angles pretty much every show, because I think that will eventually get him over. We then go into his match, which gets a 44. And as you can see, took a big toll on the match, where we have Reizan Okamoto, James Diaz, and Masashi Urugataya defeating Naozen Goto and Mitsukuri and Kinoshita in 12:07 when Okamoto pinned Kinoshita with a brainbuster suplex. Not a great match. We then go into a much better one with a 57, where we have Funakoshi defeating Takanori Doi in 12:25 by pinfall with a butterfly backbreaker. Gotta say, it was a very impressive match. Obviously, Funakoshi carried it, as you'd expect, with Doi only getting a 29. We then also go to another 57, where we have the American Cobras defeating Ogata and Kisaka in 12:30 when Marvin Malloy pinned Ginji Kisaka with a Cobra Strike. Pretty good match, I have to admit. And the Cobras are definitely getting over big time. We then go into a 54 for the triple threat match for the #1 contendership for Goto's Challenger Series title. And we have Giant Brody defeating Sujuru Sen and Yoshisada Matsuzawa in 11:45 when Giant Brody pinned Matsuzawa with a single-handed chokeslam. Sujuru Sen apparently off his game as well. Moving on to the main event. Does relatively well, getting a 58, where we have Blaster Koma defeating Yoshinaka Taku in 21-41 by pinfall with a Northern Lights bomb. During the match, we also had Dynamite Narahashi run in and attack Taku. Yeah, 54 there for Blaster Coma. That's not too bad. And we also had Taku off his game. So probably might have been a little bit higher than that. Maybe a 59 or a 60. And then finally we go into a 47 to end the show, where we have Blaster Coma inviting Dynamite Narahashi to join his new stable, Explosive. Blast and Dynamite. I mean, I think that was a pretty good show. We get a 56 for the overall rating. But I think every match there was relatively good. Obviously, this Okamoto match was bad, but I think that's just purely because of his injury. But if you look at every other match on the card, it was like a 50 or above, and most of them were like high 50s as well. 57, 57, 58, and then we got a 54 and a 52 apart from that Okamoto match. And again, increasing popularity in 7 regions in Japan, so pretty much got to be happy with that. Alright. So I guess we'll just advance straight into the next show. I mean, there's nothing really to go over in between shows. Now, there was one guy that I wanted to sign. I think his contract with Burning Hammer is starting to run out. I would have to go to their roster and actually have a look. But it looked like they weren't re-signing him, and he's a former Golden Canvas wrestler as well. Alright, so we do have one email here, or, yeah. Alright, so Dreadnought has actually relocated to Kansai. Good for him. Of course, we're not paying any travel costs, so it kind of makes sense if they do that. Now, I guess before we advance, let's look for the guy that I wanted to sign. He does work for Burning Hammer. There he is. Himenobu Hiroki. There's also this guy as well. I'm not too sure about him. Anyway, as you can see, 40 years old? Why did I think he was 20 years old? Either way, I still kind of want to bring him in. As you can see, he is pretty talented. Pretty talented, I would say anyway. And like I said, you know, well, he used to work for Golden Canvas, and then got hired by Burning Hammer. The Golden Army stable. But as you can see, he's very over, so I'd kind of like to maybe sign him on a short-term deal and then use him to boost our popularity for some of our other guys like Suki and like Reizan Okamoto down the line. Let's have a look. He wants a lot of money. Let's not do that. Okay, never mind. Let's get back to advancing. Yeah, 1,300 per appearance is kind of way too much at this point, considering, you know, our best guys were only paying about 400. And they do already kind of have that similar level of popularity in our region that we're in. So it doesn't kind of make sense for us to do it that way. Anyway, this show is going to be headlined once again by Blaster Coma. And this time he's going to be partnering up with, you know, with stablemate Dynamite Narahashi. And they are going to take on Team Taku in the main event. Give it 20 minutes. Probably going to be too long for some of the guys here. And then Blaster Coma is actually going to defeat Toshinobu Taku, of course the father of Yoshinaka. He's also 50. I think he might be 53 now. Not 100% sure. Either way, probably not going to be too strong of a main event. But I think it'll be... It's good for storyline purposes, obviously. And Yeah, I mean, it's leading to a bit of a rivalry between these two teams. And then, of course, Dynamite Narahashi is going to take on Yoshinaka Taku at the Fighting Spirit pay-per-view. So, with that said, we need to add some more stuff to the show, obviously. And I do want to use Bunraku Tori. I think he's going to take on Animal Haka. And what's going to happen is there's going to be an interference by Finley onto Tori. However, actually, let's do a botched interference. I think that'll work better. A botched interference by Finley. And that is going to cause Tori to get the victory. And it's going to set up a match in the next episode where Bunraku Tori will be taking on Big Bruiser Finley on our first show next episode in the main event. So I kind of like that match as well. Could it be the... No, I was going to say it might be the... Actually, we could make it the Steal the Show match. It definitely has potential to do that. So there we go. Up next, we want to go with another tag match. This time, I think we want Ipitsutsai and Okamasa to maybe take on the American Cobras. Again, still continuing the Cobras' rise to fame. You know, they're on a hot streak. They're definitely on a hot streak. Not sure if we can call. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think we can. So that definitely works out pretty well. There's another nice tag victory there. I then kind of want a squash match for Big Bruiser Finley. So let's have him take on... maybe Emoto. It's not really a squash match, but, you know, Young Lion taking on Big Bruiser Finley. He's obviously not gonna put up too much of a fight against the strong veteran in Finley. In a way, it's good for Emoto to just get on the card, get some exposure. And then I think we'll go with a 4-man tag. Or 8-man tag, sorry. And I think we'll go with Brody, Dreadnought, Wild Red Stallion, and James Diaz to take on the team of... Let's go with Miura and Yoshizawa. And they can be teamed up with Furusawa and Urigataya. Yes, I think we'll do that. And then I think we'll give the victory to Urigataya. And I think the loser can be... let's go Dreadnought. Let's go Stallion. Stallion's kind of the patsy for import. And of course, Dreadnought's not officially in import yet. But there's a lot of, you know, rumors backstage or in the on the internet that he is kind of already a part of import. There's that match as well. That one can go up here, I think. Yeah, and then we need one more match. We need a Suki match against no. I was gonna say Amano, but I don't think that works. Maybe Hasaka. Have we done this one before? Not what I meant to press. I meant to press this one. Okay, we haven't actually done it. They verse each other in a different type of match, in a multi-man match. And that one's going to be our technical masterclass, so it's going to go for 15. And it's also going to be going on first. All right. So that's everything we needed. We need some more angles as well. Do we go with Suki? I think we might go with Suki and then another explosive angle. So Suki, 5 minutes entertainment, scripted. And that's going to go right on the beginning of the show before his match. And then I think we'll do an angle after. And we'll have Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi. And they're going to continue to attack Toshinobu Taku and Yoshinaka Taku. Yeah, and Yoshinaka Taku as well. So they're going to be rated on selling, I guess. Would be my best option. I mean, I've never used fighting before, so let's give this a try. I'm not sure how it's going to go down. But we're going to do fighting for both Blaster Coma and Narahashi. As I'm assuming that means sort of like a beatdown as such. Again, I haven't really done much research. I've just kind of been playing as I go. I would probably need to read the handbook, which is something I'm thinking about doing to get a real proper grasp. Also, 4 minutes is probably the length we want to go for with an angle like that, I would assume. Either way, let's write the angle as well. We'll just have explosive attacks Team Taku post-match, I guess. And then, of course, it's gonna lead to their match. Or, like I said, Dynamite Narahashi is going to take on Yoshinaka Taku at Fighting Spirit. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's do a quick 6-man pre-show match. Again, more just to get the young lions on the card. I guess we can use Funikoshi. Why not? Let's go Funikoshi teaming up with I guess Sotomura and Ozawa to take on Sono, Doi, and Kubo. We haven't really used Kubo too much. And then we'll have Funikoshi pick up a victory. He is our champion. It does make sense. Even though it's only on the pre-show, it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, there we go. Let's run the last show of the episode. Starting off with a 45 for the pre-show. We have Funikoshi and Sotomura and Ozawa defeating Yuta Osono, Takanori Doi, and Nobuyuki Kubo. In 12:30, when Funikoshi pinned Kubo with a butterfly backbreaker. And yeah, Kubo and Doi both off their games in this pre-show bout. Alright, we then start the show off with a 59, so pretty good angle there from Suki. A little bit impressive. Basically just him saying that, you know, he can beat anyone on the roster. You know, none of these black canvas guys, and he does, you know, air quotation marks, have what it takes, or could hang with me in the ring for, you know, for more than 10 minutes. And then out comes Iki Hisaka, of course. I think he's a dojo graduate from Black Canvas. And he steps up in a technical masterclass these two put on. It's a 51, so that's not too bad. It's a pretty good match, actually. And of course, we do have Suki eventually defeating Iki Hisaka. However, it takes him 15 minutes and 19 seconds to do so. You know, of course, he said he would do it in 10. Didn't manage to do it in 10. And Hisaka held on for over 15 minutes, but eventually gave up by submission with a Suki Special 3. I'm pretty impressed with this guy. I do like him. And I think he's going to be joining a stable in the near future. Alright, we then go into a 52, where we have Furusawa, Uragataya, and Miura and Yoshizawa defeating Giant Brody, Dreadnought, Wild Red Stallion, and James Diaz in 11:53, when Masashi Uragataya pinned Wild Red Stallion with a jumbo backdrop suplex. Yeah, just a pretty good match. Dreadnought, unfortunately, off his game, but yeah, everything else was pretty good. 52, not too bad. We then go into a 49 for Big Bruiser Finley, defeating Suguru Emoto in 11:34 by pinfall with an Atomic Spinebuster. Interesting. So Big Bruiser Finley took most of the offense, completely eating up Emoto. So it essentially was a bit of a squash match. I find that very interesting. It's actually pretty cool as well. Wow, we then go into a 64, where we have the American Cobras defeating Ipitsutsai and Okamasa in 12:22, when Storm Spillane submitted Ipitsutsai with a kneeling Boston Crab. And of course, Ipitsutsai was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone in the match. And I have to say, the American Cobras, man, they are doing really well. 65 for Marvel and a 64 in ring there for Storm. And a 64 for the overall match rating as well. Pretty much better than our main event, I would assume. This match also does really well, getting a 62, where we have Bunraku Tori defeating Animal Haka in 12:23 by pinfall with a spinning forearm smash. And then during the match, we also had Big Bruiser Finley accidentally hit Haka. So yeah, pretty good match. And of course, that one's going to eventually lead to a pre-booking. So we may as well just do it now. We'll get it pre-booked in for Fighting Spirit. And it is going to be Big Bruiser Finley taking on Bunraku Tori. Actually, should I book it for the pay-per-view? Or should we book it for the next main event? I kind of want to do the next main event. That's what I said earlier in the episode. But maybe I think we can do something else. So let's do it for the pay-per-view. I think that'll actually be better. The 22 minutes. And I think we'll give Tori the victory. And this is going to lead him to becoming the #1 contender for the BCG World title. Eventually. Well, he will be after this match, but he's obviously not going to be the opponent for Funikoshi at Fighting Spirit. Alright, so that's pre-booked in there. Pretty happy with that. Yes, so it's pre-booked for Fighting Spirit. Perfect. We then move on to a pretty abysmal main event, I have to say. Yeah, I'm a little bit upset by this. A 47 for the main event. And we sustain another injury. Anyway, Blaster Coma and Dynamite Narahashi defeating Team Taku in 1937 when Blaster Coma pinned Toshinobu Taku with a Northern Lights bomb. And yeah, Yoshinaka Taku sustaining cracked ribs. Another cracked ribs injury. I feel like we've had 3 of those already. Not only that, the injury took a big toll on the match itself. And then we also had Toshinobu being off his game as well. So all these things happening, leading us to a 47 main event. Which I'm a little bit frustrated by. Considering, we had 2 better matches, 2 matches over 60 on this show as well. And of course, the last match could have easily main evented. Surprising that Haka did so well. Anyway, we do have one more angle here. We get a 43, where we have Explosive attacking Team Taku after the bell sounds for their victory. And again, we've got another injury, so we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. I was going to get this match pre-booked in, but I guess we'll have to wait. And that's a bad show, man. That is a bad show. A 49 overall. The main event really letting us down there. And only increased our popularity in 3 regions, which must be the lowest 3 regions. The ones that I think are at 13. Yeah, that's not great. The first show was so good of this episode, and then that one was... it was another botched move, man. I feel like the botched moves are just so prevalent at the moment. There's so many of them. And that one was from Dynamite Narahashi, they're supposed to be versing each other at the pay-per-view, so that's not great. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the size. Obviously, well, all the other regions are up to 23 now. These other 3 ones. But I think that's probably from the first show of the episode that we did, the good show. And then these ones are up to 13. The lower regions that we get less, well, we probably had less spillover from. Either way, I mean, it's still kind of good that we're up to 23 and 13 respectively. Still at 53 in Kansai, but, you know, that's going to be a slow burn up to 59, which is pretty much what we need. Either way, that is going to wrap the episode up, guys, so please smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Turn the notification bell on if you haven't done that either. And that'll let you be notified when these episodes come out. And of course, make sure you stay tuned and have a look at the channel, as the new series will be posted relatively soon, guys. Apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.